Hello friends. Analog input, a signal that represents the condition of a plant or process in a discrete value like temperature, pressure, flow, etc. These parameters vary in a certain range and can be anywhere on the scale of 100 to 0 to 100%. That's why they are called analog signals, unlike a digital input which has only two states 0 or 1. Today we will discuss how to program these analog inputs when added to PLC or DCS and what operations are performed on analog input so that we can get a stable representation of these process parameter on our HMI operated display. Analog input, be it RTD, thermocouple or 4 to 20 milliamps or 0 to 10 volt. When these are connected to AI card, analog input card, first operation is performed is to convert it in a analog 0 to 5 volt DC voltage. Be it RTD resistance change or thermocouple millivolt or 4 to 20 milliamps, it is converted into 0 to 5 volt information. Then this further it is converted into serial digital format in 8-bit or 16-bit word. It depends on your system for what word length it has been designed for. Now the raw value of signal from the analog input card remains in the same format for all analog inputs. It is further converted into a range of engineering units according to parameter you are measuring. This process is called scaling. All this is done through an analog input software function block or module, which every system manufacturer provides as library. This is basically a subroutine program in PLC DCS, which repeatedly scans all the analog inputs in every scan cycle and monitors for its healthiness. In addition to scaling, an analog input monitors analog input channel status, live zero status, over range, under range, ROC limit calculation, alarm limit calculation, comparisons. Let's see how these processes are carried out on an analog input. Signal validation. The sensor you have selected for monitoring is working in its range or not is checked here. And if it is out of range or under range, it is claimed to a allowable minimum or maximum limit. And if it is in range, then a short bit is generated which is called signal valid. We will talk about this further. Let's go further. Next operation is mathematical calculation and scaling. There are sensors which give you nonlinear output over its full range, like Orpheus Place, Venturi flow meter sensor. It gives you differential pressure output, and actual flow is calculated by square rooting of this differential pressure. Then its linear scaling is done. You can select these mathematical operations from faceplate. During linear scaling, the signal is converted into a scale of engineering units or parameter which is being measured. Suppose there is a 0 to 200 range for temperature you are measuring. Signal counts are proportionated in a 0 to 200 range so that 0 temperature shows at the time of minimum analog signal or counts, or 200-degree temperature is shown at maximum counts or temperature. Signal then goes through a process called damping. Actually, we have a various kind of parameters in our plant which are very fluctuating in nature, and its PID controller has to make it stable. Now it becomes very difficult for an PID controller to make it stable due to high frequency fluctuation in its parameter. These may be various flow, draft, negative pressure, vacuum, vibration or instantaneous power, etc. With the damping provision given on faceplate, you can smoothen the high frequency fluctuation on this signal to a greater extent. But take care, quality of signal must not be lost. By providing damping, these analog signal can fluctuate within a certain range, and the PID controller also becomes quite stable than earlier. The smoothing of signal is decided by the time set from the faceplate. So better take care, 1 second, 2 second, 5 second, you have to decide. Along with damping, there is also provision of forcing a signal. This feature comes in handy when doing maintenance or simulation, etc. The value of signal is provided which almost equal of the normal representation of the running parameter. After maintenance, the signal force is removed. After damping process and forcing operation, signal goes through three processes simultaneously: ROC limit calculation, alarm limit calculation and alarm comparison. Let's take first ROC limit calculation. The rate of change of analog signal is calculated in ROC process. That means how much a analog signal changes, positive or negative, in a given period of time. And this rate is more than your preset limit, then a soft bit is generated at the output of analog block, which you can interlock in logic to bypass a certain condition or take any specific action. This rate of change can be in any direction, positive or negative. So you have got two bits there. You must have observed, due to loose connection in many signals, for example RTD sensor, the temperature shoots up to high value sudden. due to loose connection. This abrupt change in resistance sets the ROC high or logical 1. So to avoid the false impression of analog signal, this ROC short bit may be used, or you can avoid unnecessary tripping of equipment or plant. You can use this ROC limit short bit to bypass the logic and to initiate any specific action in plant operation. This ROC short bit comes to 0 as soon as the analog signal gets to normal. Alarm handling process. In this process, the alarm status is updated by comparing the analog signal with the alarm limits you set from the HMI faceplate. This analog block supports 4 types of limit calculation, namely L1, L2, H1, H2. Now let's move to how this analog block is programmed. Obviously, it has some input outputs, bits and words. Let's take one by one. First one is unit number or block number. This is the sequence number you assign to analog input block whenever you add them. Add new. The maximum number is determined according to the memory layout of the PLC DCF you are using. Second one is analog input IO address. This is basically physical IO address of the analog input channel. These addresses are allocated to each channel of your input card at the time of IO hardware configuration. Now, what kind of sensor you going to connect to this analog input software block? That info is given here. These are some code numbers mentioned in your system manual, which may vary system to system. For example, RTD sensor is allocated to 0, thermocouple 1 and 4 to 20 milliamps 2 or something like that. This info tells basically the input block what kind of sensor we are using, it is connected, and according to that calculations are carried out. Change enable. If this bit is logically 0 or low, then you will not be able to change the scale, alarm limits, etc. from your HMI faceplate. So you can block or unblock from this bit. The rest of the input bits like alarm enable, message enable, fault to group, etc. we have already discussed. You must visit our link given above to understand in better way. This interface bit basically controls alarm triggering, when to trigger alarm or when not to. Output interface bits. Here the 4 limits, namely L1, L2, H1, H2 bits are set as soon as analog input crosses the limit set by control room operator. These are the short bits which are interlocked in the program logic. An alarm appears on the HMI when these limits are triggered. By controlling the input enable bits at input, you can decide in which condition alarm to appear on alarm list. This will avoid crowding on alarm list and will not distract control room operator. There is a soft bit called signal valid or sometimes called live 0 bit, which normally sets to 1 or high at the moment sensor shows any error. Such a condition occurs when the sensor damages, cable gets disconnected or open. The signal itself may go under or overrange. This makes the signal valid or live 0 bit logic 0 or 1. You can program this soft bit in logic accordingly, whether to trip the equipment or take some another emergency action. But keep in mind that you need to interlock this bit before the analog input lists are programmed in program scan cycle. Programming this live 0 bit after limits interlock execution will trip the equipment, as all the limits are set to logically 0 at the time of live 0 is encountered. ROC limits. These two soft bits are positive negative. When the rate of change of the signal crosses the limits set from the faceplate, it is logically set to 1 or high. Here you can also add a delay from the faceplate. These soft bits may be interlocked as per convenience to optimize plant operation at the best. Friends, the features or characteristics of analog inputs block that we discussed here are of utmost importance. These features are widely used in routine maintenance and plant optimization. If you use these judiciously, then downtime may be reduced to 0. In our next video, we will discuss the PID function block. If you have any query, suggestion, post it in our comment section so that we can cover maximum points about the subject. Till then, bye bye, enjoy.